Question 16. Each additional unit of the good that is produced yields an external benefit. Well, remember, we're just going to shift something up by the amount of the benefit. So then here, the distance between the demand curve and the social value is going to give us the amount of that benefit. Here, that's 100, the difference between 125 and 89. So we do 125 minus 89. Carry it over, we get 6, 11, 36. Well, what's happened here is that the social value is higher, so we have a positive externality. So then we know that since it's a positive externality, it's going to be a benefit of $36. Question 17. Producer surplus with the tariff is, well, after the tariff, the producer surplus is going to be this area C and G. So the answer is going to be B. Which of the following is not a common resource? Well, what does a common resource need to be? A common resource should be rivalrous, but non-excludable. Okay. Are elephants in the wild excludable? Can you exclude somebody from seeing an elephant in the wild? No. Are they rivalrous? Does your enjoyment of an elephant stop my enjoyment of that same elephant? No. So then, are elephants in the wild rivalrous? No, the answer is A. A narrow trail in a park. Well, is a narrow trail in a park rivalrous? Yeah, if I use it, you probably are getting less joy, but I can't stop you from using that trail. So then it's going to be rivalrous and non-excludable. A neighborhood garden. There's only so much space in a garden. It's rivalrous and non-excludable. So then the answer is going to be A, elephants in the wild. 19. If the current allocation of resources in the market for hammers is inefficient, then it must be the case that, well, inefficiency doesn't mean that producer surplus or consumer surplus is bigger or smaller for either of them. So we can get rid of A and B immediately. The sum of consumer surplus and producer could be increased by moving to a different allocation of resources. Yes, right? If we're inefficiently producing, that means that we should be able to increase producer and consumer surplus by moving to a different allocation of those resources. So the answer is going to be C. When a tax is imposed on a good for which both demand and supply are very elastic, right? So then remember, the more elastic the market, the more dead weight loss we're going to create because more people are going to leave that market when the price changes. They're both very elastic, so then we don't know their relative elasticity, so we don't know whether sellers or buyers pay more. Tax burden is equally divided. We also don't know that. So then none of the above is correct. Yeah, we need to know the relative elasticities of demand and supply in order to figure out who has the tax burden and who pays the majority of the tax. Now, you could game this question a little here because you have either sellers pay more or buyers pay more, right? Or it's equally divided. Well, the chances of it being like